Hello there, we are Fairmont Lawyers, an immigration law firm based in London. We are here presenting this slide for those that prefer listening rather than reading the slides, because everybody is busy these days and some people prefer just putting on their earphones and listening to this. So we are here talking about the Scale-Up Visa. This is a visa recently introduced Home Office for people to apply if you are talented, you have a skill to help a scale-up business grow even further from what it has so far. So the UK government believes that high growth companies could attract talented individuals to come to the UK and work. Where a UK business is experiencing impressive success, the UK government has introduced the Scale-Up to enable them to sponsor talented individuals, from scientists, engineers, architects, programmers, to support their growth and to contribute to boosting the UK economy. What is a qualifying scale-up sponsor? The company must have an annualized growth of at least 20% for the previous 3-year period based on either employment, meaning staff count, or the turnover. And the company must have had a minimum of 10 employees at the start of the relevant 3-year period. Please note that the Home Office will carry out relevant checks with HMRC, such as the company's PAYE, meaning pay as you earn, or VAT returns information to determine if the company meets the definition of a qualifying scale-up sponsor. Typically, the company must show a growth rate of 20% per year in order to meet this requirement. We're going to jump on to what the Scale-Up Visa criteria is and what it means. So what is a Scale-Up Visa? A Scale-Up route is for talented individual recruited by the UK Scale-Up sponsor who has the skills needed to enable the Scale-Up business to continue growing. The person must have a high-skilled job offer from the qualifying Scale-Up business at the required salary level. So we get this question a lot: can I bring my family to the UK on a Scale-Up visa? Yes, a dependent partner and dependent children can apply under this route. For those that are already lawfully resident in the UK, a dependent partner and dependent children can switch to this category. However, validity requirements apply. Does the Scale-Up visa lead to a grant of indefinite leave to remain in the UK? Yes, it does. The Scale-Up route is a route to settlement. This means that on completion of a 5-year period with permission under this route, or a combination with the routes such as Scale-Up, Skilled Worker, Global Talent, Innovator, Tier 2 Minister of Religion, International Sportsperson, Representative of an Overseas Business, or as a Tier 1 migrant other than a Tier 1 graduate entrepreneur. So you can combine periods of Scale-Up with categories such as Skilled Worker, Global Talent, Innovator, Tier 2 Minister of Religion, International Sportsperson, sole representative of an overseas business. Some people call it representative of an overseas business, or some people call it sole rep, and as a Tier 1 migrant. And this discounts the graduate entrepreneur. So if you ever held a Tier 1 graduate entrepreneur previously, you cannot combine that with the Scale-Up visa to complete the 5-year period for indefinite leave to remain. So what is the difference between the sponsored application and the unsponsored application under the Scale-Up route? So the sponsored application means that the applicant must have a valid certificate of sponsorship for the job that they're planning to do. The sponsor must be authorized by the Home Office, A-rated sponsorship, to sponsor that job under that route. The job must be genuine, not outsourced to a third party, must not be a job on the kind contract where the applicant undertakes work for a third party. The job is at the appropriate skilled level with an occupation code listed in Appendix Skilled Occupations. The job must meet the appropriate salary requirement for sponsored applications. The salary for the job for which the applicant is being sponsored must equal or exceed £33,000 per year, or £10.58 per hour and the going rate for the occupation code. We will have a webinar to explain how the Home Office assesses pay scales and what they expect a person to be paid in order to meet the rules. So please stay tuned. The next criteria is the applicant must meet the English language requirement by passing all 4 components in reading, writing, speaking and listening at least level B1. The applicant must show that they have held funds of at least £1,270 for at least 28 days prior to making their application, or have their sponsor confirm on the certificate of sponsorship that they will, when necessary, maintain and accommodate the applicant. Please note that, however, if the applicant is applying to switch to this route from within the UK and they have been in the UK lawfully for at least 12 months or longer than that, they will be exempt from the financial requirement. So what is the difference between those? So now we're going to explain the unsponsored application. The unsponsored application is where the applicant must have had the last grant of permission as a scale-up worker. This option cannot be used for the first-time applicants. So just in case some of you say, no, I would like the unsponsored route, and this is your first time coming to the UK, that will not be possible. The unsponsored route is for an applicant who has previously held a scale-up visa. So basically, during the extension, you can choose not to be sponsored. The second criteria is the applicant must have monthly PAYE earnings in the UK equivalent to at least £33,000 per year during at least 50% of their permission as a scale-up worker. For example, an applicant with 2 years permission as a scale-up worker must have this level of earnings during the last 12 months of their permission. The applicant must meet the English language requirement, as always, 4 components: reading, writing, speaking and listening, at least level B1. The applicant must show that they have held funds of at least £1,270 for at least 28 days prior to making the application, or the sponsor can certify maintenance. Again, please note that if the applicant has been in the UK lawfully for 12 months or longer at the date of application, they will be exempt from the requirement. So what would be the duration of the scale-up visa? A sponsored applicant will be granted permission to enter and remain for 2 years, and the unsponsored applicant will be granted a further 3 years. On completion of 5 years in the UK under the scale-up route, an applicant may be eligible to apply for settlement in the UK. Other points that you may need to note: depending on the applicant's nationality and country of residence, if you are applying for entry clearance, you may be required to provide a valid medical certificate confirming that you have undergone a screening for active pulmonary tuberculosis and that this tuberculosis is not present in you. This is commonly known as a TB test. So please check the country of your nationality if it is on the list of countries required to present a TB test. If you would like detailed advice on the scale-up route or any other immigration advice, please contact Fairmont Lawyers on 0203 744 7437. We are experts in corporate immigration and private immigration, and we would be happy to assist you. Thank you.